hypothetically, if you have to do a regulatory check, what's that time frame? Or if you have to review an IL, I'm making that up as your next second thing, what's the time frame? What can new brands expect to build into their roadmap of allowing time references and those types of things for working with you?
I think especially with MOCRA in play, and depending upon how many countries they want to roll out into over time. And that's a really important thing to think about right from the beginning. Those are some of the questions when we start with a customer, is we give them a list of questions just to try and pull out the information and extract the information to help them build a timeline of, okay, well, we're going to set this up. We're going to work with Cherie, your product developer, and she's going to, she's coming up with the newest and greatest eye cream. And we're going to work with her on making sure that she knows the questions to ask, the stopping points, and where we're going to go with this. So it does add some time. And I know with our industry, it's always yesterday, right? Everything, we need it yesterday and for free, please. Thank you very much. So, and that is not always the easiest thing when it comes to regs. When it comes to an IL, an ingredient deck, and writing it properly, whether it's for here in the United States or to be able to leave the country, that is also extremely important. We do spend a lot of time with contract manufacturers, making sure that those are done properly for their customers, especially when they're leaving the country. Different parts need to pad different ways. I think in product development from the very beginning, if you padded a couple of weeks and really spent some time bringing regs into the conversation, it could help build such a great framework that it would cut out other long lead times when you're trying to rush through. Because if you work with
or backpedal, right? If you haven't done something and then you have to backpedal and like, oops, we forgot that.
My favorite,
I forgot it. We just kind of avoided it.
Right? My favorite is when a brand will send us just a Word doc of like, this is the kinds of things we want to talk about on our packaging. This is the ingredient deck. This is the rough ingredient deck we're working with right now. Can you just take a look and give us your advice? You know what? That saves everyone a ton of time. We have a couple of questions. Where are you going? What are you doing? Are you going mass market, high end? Do you have to go into works? Do you have to prove what retailer and how much substantiation do you need to provide to that retailer? Because every retailer, e-commerce or brick and mortar, are different. Supermarkets are different than Sephora, and they all want you to be able to show transparency and substantiation so they can freely sell it in the public forum. And so creating a bit of space for proofing, for regulatory proofing, we always ask for 2 weeks. We usually can turn it around in a couple of days. It just depends on how much we have on our plate. But we definitely have a lot of people that are cyclical in our regulatory, and that's amazing. They go and they launch in a new country, and then we don't hear from them for a year, and then they come back to us and they're like, guess what? We have 5 more products and we're just so excited for them. And then we're able to build a long-lasting relationship. Regs doesn't always have to be weighing on your head. We can be a really supportive attribute to your brand. And sometimes we give you a list of questions to go to your CM with. Hey, do you want us to talk to them? Would you like to talk to them? Here's the points we need covered, and we think you should cover your basis with. These are steps that I think would, if every brand took that into consideration from the beginning.
From the beginning, right?
From the beginning, and building it into their timeline. Even booking regulatory people out. You know what? In about 4 weeks, we think we're going to have our copy for you. So can you book out a couple days in a month for us? You know what? We'll check in with you. We'll see if you're ready. Let us know. So you don't get stuck in a queue of, 20 other brands who need the same thing. So those are the kinds of actions that you can really be proactive with, and it can make a huge difference in the end.
Oh, it does make a huge difference. I know that. I know having worked
I
with
like to think
regulatory,
so.
and that does make a huge difference.
I like to think
Then
so.
worry about how it's supposed to be. This is what I want to say. You can tweak the words. I'll use that.
We do a lot of game. Yes, the wordsmithing is very interesting. Learning to wordsmith, I learned from the legal team at HSN, and that is how I
Oh
learned in
yeah.
the early
Oh
2000s.
yeah.
I sat, I sat and I worked and I represented brands that were on HSN. And before we went on air, they would just redline all your copy,
Yeah.
and you would
Yeah.
just sit there and go,
But
oh
that's like,
my
I know in I've had in my early days with Avon would have conversations with legal. And it's kind of funny because I was working between two lawyers and one would help me be creative and the other one was like, nope, nope, nope.
God.
And I'm like, well, can you give me a word to use? It's
We
kind of
have,
funny.
we have an internal
But
name
you
for
know
those
what?
kinds
It
of
makes you
dialogue.
better. It makes you better at your craft and your skill because I think sometimes when claims and or consumers look at claims, it's very easy to read. But that claim can be rewritten and rewritten at least 5, 6, 7, or 8 times before it's where it needs to be.
And we do play good
So
cop, bad cop. We do have that, and the marketers give us our data or our content, and we do sit there and we play both sides of,
yeah.
you know, do you think you can push this through? No, who's going to stop that? Where is that a problem? And we really try and break it down to help you put your message forward without um stepping over boundaries, without misleading customers. And so that's the really important part. I mean, when you're developing products, I know you've developed tons of products in your history, right? You would never want to develop something that would accidentally hurt somebody just because things weren't checked or the directions weren't clear enough. That's as, it can be as simple as that, and it can be as simple as that to help avoid those kinds of situations.